No.
Tigers. Fight Tigers. Fight. Mike, it's not even a top 1,000 moment all time.
Okay, Tommy, shut the hell up, man.
Mike! Of course, I'm gonna go with the right answer. It's Ryan Eads of the Baltimore Orioles. He's only wore the number 80 for 8 games. He's only one of 2 players.
You know what? No, I'm not going to take this.
Welcome back to Go Chat. We are here with episode 113. As you see, all of us are pretty festive. You know, Mike and Tommy got the Christmas hats on. Matt's got a Christmas sweater. Only thing I have is this Jets winter hat. So I'm trying my best. I do have a stocking.
You have a stocking. Give yourself some credit.
A stocking behind me. No, we're super excited. You know, come back at you. We got a Christmas special for you. You know, obviously, hope you guys are having a happy and healthy, holiday season leading up until, Saturday, Friday, Christmas, or, if you guys celebrate Hanukkah, I hope you guys had a great Hanukkah season. But nevertheless, we are here with Go Chat, and we're going to have a great episode for you. We are moving on to the state of Massachusetts. Obviously, we go around, we pick who's the best active player in that state. Tommy, I'm going to start with you here. I'm pretty interested. I don't think any names throw my way on the Boston Red Sox. So who are you going with here?
Well, I am going with somebody on the Red Sox, and it's probably a bad choice, but I'm going with somebody over their whole career, put up solid numbers. We're going to go with Xander Bogaerts today. I know that it is not him for the state, but pick. So Xander has 1,200 career hits, 141 homers, 290 lifetime hitter, and, 3-time All-Star, 2-time World Series champion, of course, and a 4-time Silver Slugger. So very good shortstop. I know there's a lot of other good people in this state, of course. You're probably going to go. See, I actually just thought of somebody from the Bruins that's probably better, but I am not picking that person today, and we're going to go with somebody from the Red Sox.
Tommy's starting us off the only way he knows how. Matt, I'm going to throw it to you. Who's the GOAT of Massachusetts?
Well, I'm going to actually go over to the Bruins, like Tommy mentioned. I'm going to go with the sport that, it's tough. See, this is where it was tough. I said it was between 2 people before. And of course, Tommy alluded to Tuukka Rask in the chat. I'm not going to go with Tuukka. I think that's a really good pick. He's just currently out injured, and I don't know whether his future really is going to be in Massachusetts much longer into next year. But I am going to go with one of his teammates, and I'm going to go with David Pastrnak of the Boston Bruins, one of the best right wings in the NHL since he came into the league. And he has been really explosive for the Bruins, really that top man on that really great top line with Patrice Bergeron, Brad Marchand, and him. A lot of great picks here. I have to stick with Pasta because I feel like he has the best nickname. I mean, Pasta, come on, who doesn't love Pasta? And I think he is the best player right now in Massachusetts. I think by a good margin too.
Mike, who's the GOAT of Massachusetts here, man?
I'm going to go with someone on the Bruins too, and I think Matt missed the boat a little bit here. I'm going to go with Dave Pasternak's line mate, Patrice Bergeron. He has been playing in Boston since 2003, and in that time, he's won a cup, obviously similar to Pasta as they won together. But he's won 4 Selke trophies. For those of you that don't know, that's the best two-way forward in the NHL. 4 of those over that time period is absolutely phenomenal. He's widely regarded as the best two-way forward throughout the 2010s and even in the late 2000s. And also, we also want to talk about what players have done off and on the playing field. How about the Marc Messier Leadership Award in 2020? Just what he's done on that team, being a leader, being, that captain, and then off the ice as well in the surrounding Boston area. It's got to be Patrice Bergeron for me.
I know this doesn't help me, but Pastrnak was on that Stanley Cup team. It doesn't help my team.
Yeah, I mentioned that.
Oh, I thought you said that he was on that team. Sorry, I misheard you. Go ahead, Connor.
I'm actually going to go to the other sport in Boston, not basketball. I'm going to go to football, and I'm going to go with the best special teams player of all time, Matthew Slater. Now, that name may not be familiar, but he is a 9-time Pro Bowler in the NFL, selected in the 2008 draft, 5th round. And he's played a great role for those New England Patriots. 9 Pro Bowls. He's got 3 Super Bowl rings, and he's a 2-time All-Proer. You don't see a lot of, recognition be brought about, the special team part of the NFL, but he's one of the best to do it. And obviously he's been recognized 9 Pro Bowl appearances, and he's got 3 rings to go along with it.
I thought you were gonna say Gunnar Oshleski or whatever his name is. I was like,
I should have gone.
No, not Gunnar. I mean, Slater. Honestly, that's a fine pick. Special teams is very important in football. I am realizing that now because Green Bay might have the worst special teams in the history of football this year. But that's a good pick. He does have all pros. He's got the Super Bowls with it. I didn't think about that. It was a good eye, Connor.
I mean, it's not a bad pick.
It isn't.
Special teams is important, but I mean, even Xander Bogaerts. I'd even throw Chris Sale. I'm surprised you didn't go with Chris Sale, Tommy. Even though he hasn't been in Boston for a little bit, but I mean, come on. There were just better options than Matthew Slater. I feel like that's just kind of a reach.
I'm just glad no one went with Jason Tatum. I would have freaked out.
Not yet.
I thought Mike was going to come on here and say Jason Tatum.
Oh, come on, he's only played like 5 years. He hasn't made it out of the Eastern Conference. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves right here.
Oh, I wasn't. I was thinking you were gonna.
Yeah, he's not even a top 10 player.
No.
Okay. Oh, that's not the conversation we're having right now.
We're gonna have a lot of great other conversations throughout.
Oh, wait, hold on. Before we continue, I want to throw it back to like 2 years ago when I came on and said that the Cowboys had like one of the worst special teams in the entire NFL.
Okay, hold on.
No, I'm not done speaking. And that was one of the reasons why they were going to turn around their season. Obviously, their season didn't get turned around because of other mitigating factors. But you all clown me for saying special teams was not important.
No.
Now we have Connor picking a
Mike.
special teamer as a GOAT of the state
Mike.
of Massachusetts.
Mike.
Now Matt's complaining about the Green Bay special team.
Like, you complained that it hurt Dak Prescott. Aaron Rodgers is still an MVP frontrunner. He still gets the ball down the field and gets touchdowns for his team. The team is 10-3 right now. You were complaining that it hurt Dak because of the special teams. That is where I got you. That's where I was hammering.
It wasn't only that. It wasn't only that, right?
But you used the special teams as an excuse that he couldn't get the ball down the field.
No, I was mentioning that he had the worst starting position in the entire NFL, and I mentioned that the special teams was a reason why the Cowboys did not make the playoffs. I did mention that about Dak Prescott, but that was not the whole.
I think special teams is important, but it's not a make or break to the playoffs.
It's not, but bring it back to Matthew Slater, who I picked today. Not only is he just a special teamer, not only is he probably the best special teamer, he's a captain on the New England Patriots and a real leader in that locker room. He goes out and he does the coin tosses, and you hear him talking to his team before the game and after the game and firing them up on the sideline. So while he goes out there and he makes plays on that special teams part of the field, he's also a huge leader in that locker room, which is really important.
I mean, that's also another piece, but I feel like all of these guys are at the same time. You know what I mean? But anyways, I think that kind of wraps up the state of Massachusetts, unless anyone has any other comments or concerns they want to get into. But we are going to get into our festive segment next. Welcome back to Go Chat. We are here with our first festive segment. We're talking about stocking stuffing. We are going to go around and we are going to say which, player or team deserves, some presents in their stocking or some coal. And we're going to give our reasons as to why. So we all have our picks right here. Tommy, I'm going to throw it to you first. You went first in GOAT of the state, and now you're going first in stocking stuffing. Who you got?
Well, thank you. I have a lot to say for this one. For me, it's quite obvious who it is. The payoff hasn't been seen yet, but we will be seeing it. It's got to be Steve Cohen in the New York Mets. I mean, what they have done, what they did prior to the lockout and, during the lockout, signing Buck Showalter is their manager. I think hands down. I'm sure there's more in the overall realm of sports, but through my narrow lens of baseball, it's got to be the New York Mets because so they signed Max Scherzer, Starling Marte, Mark Canna. Who else did they get? Who am I leaving out?
Eduardo Escobar.
Eduardo Escobar. To me, the Mets are in a really good position, especially by hiring Buck Showalter, very experienced manager, of course. I think that in the long haul, they, deserve the present for sure. Have we seen any of that? No, because the season doesn't start till March, but we will see it. And go Mets.
Go Mets, baby. I love it, Tommy. I think you left out the signing of Max Scherzer as well. I don't know if
I
you
said Max.
You said
Oh.
Max. Tommy,
I thought you said Marte. That's my bad.
you have a Yankees hat on and you're saying go Mets. Isn't that like not supposed to happen?
I'm kidding. I'm not a Mets fan.
It's infuriating. It's infuriating.
That's like me. Would that be like me saying go Bears right now or Bear down?
Yes.
No.
Essentially, yeah.
But see, here's the thing. I don't root for the Mets. It was more of a joke. It's not like I'm like switching my loyalties over to Queen.
I know. I'm messing. I'm part messing with you, but at the same time,
No,
I'm
I know.
curious of why you said
Yeah, you know what, Tommy? I gotta agree with you there. And in fact, I'm missing the introductory conference for Buck Showalter right now, but we're not gonna get into that. Connor's over there shaking his head. He's calling this infuriating. Do you have a better answer, Connor? Who's getting coal or who's getting presents in their stocking?
Yeah, I think as far as presence wise, I think what we have to look at is the New England Patriots. They went out in March and really spent a whole bunch of money in free agency. Largely spending a lot of money in free agency isn't normally a good sign. We've seen teams like the Jaguars and Jets go out and do it in recent years and it not help their team at all. But, you bring in Jonnu Smith, you bring in Hunter Henry, who's had a fantastic year, Nelson Aguilar, Kendrick Bourne, you brought targets, Matthew Judon, you brought in all these guys and they've actually shown what they can do on the field as opposed to the Mets who haven't taken the diamond together as a team yet. And they've gone out and, right now they're at the top of the AFC East, and they're battling for, potentially number one seed there in the AFC after, not knowing exactly where they were going to be. You got a rookie quarterback, obviously it's still Bill Belichick there. But I think when you have to look at a team who's getting presence because of what they've done so far this year, I think you got to look at, the New England Patriots.
And drafting Mac Jones. Just you got to add that in there.
Well, we can talk about, their drafting decisions, in our next segment. But
Ramondre Stevenson too.
Ramondre Stevenson has been.
That was
he
a good
find. He was a find. Him and Damian Harris now kind of split in touches. He looks good.
Yeah. There you go. That's a phenomenal pick right there. The New England Patriots atop the AFC East and really in the hunt for that number one overall seed in the AFC. Matt, who do you got to compete against the Patriots and the Mets?
See, I really haven't thought about this. I thought I would figure it out like on the spot, but I'm kind of having trouble. I could tell you this. I know the Cole, who deserves Cole. But as far as presents, I'm gonna go. Hold on, give me one second here. I'm gonna go with the I'm gonna go with the oh man. Mike, you got one? I really didn't think about it.
Oh my gosh, Matt. You know what, Matt? I thought you were supposed to be prepared for the show, but I guess not.
Do you have one yourself?
I do have one. I do have one. And let me tell you right now.
Oh, I got one.
Oh. Go ahead.
I'm gonna go with the football team, but I'm gonna go to the opposite side of the conference. I'm gonna go with a team that is really on top of their division, I guess. They're kind of sliding. They're still a really good team. They're kind of sliding. I'm gonna go with the Arizona Cardinals. I think they really found a way to figure everything out. They got AJ Green, who is proven to be a decent wide receiver for Kyler, especially with DeAndre Hopkins out. They got Zach Ertz on a trade this past October. That's really been helping them out. Zach Ertz kind of re-emerging his career over in Arizona. Struggled a little in Philadelphia lately. He's getting the targets, he's getting the numbers, he's getting the touchdowns there. And then defensively, I mean, this team has just gotten a lot better defensively. JJ Watt, unfortunately he's hurt, but he did have a good start to his career over in Arizona. And they've just been clicking like this. I mean, this team was third or fourth in their division last year. Third in their division last year. Now they're number one. I mean, obviously contending with the LA Rams. Also a good shout out for this question. But I'm gonna have to go the Arizona Cardinals. If I thought more, maybe I'd have a different answer for you. But that's what it is. What it is.
You know what? That's not a bad answer. Obviously picking a team, you know, at the top of probably the toughest division in football. But you know what? We picked baseball. We picked baseball. I mean, we picked football.
Football.
And you know, I'm just racking through all the options in my brain right now, and I gotta go with Bill Zito. Just a quick poll: does anyone know who Bill Zito is here?
I know
on
who
this
Barry
podcast?
Zito is.
Bill
Did you say
Zito.
Danny DeVito.
No.
No, I said Barry Zito.
Oh,
Yeah, isn't he the GM of?
Oh yeah. You
The stupid.
you
Florida
just type that in.
Panthers. No, of course you would pick the Florida Panthers. I figured it was something hockey because Tommy and Connor wouldn't know this. It's the Florida. It's gotta be Florida, right?
Yeah. So 2 years ago he got hired as the new GM as the Florida Panthers after Dale Talon got hired. Over the past 20 years, the Florida Panthers have been very disappointing, even though they've had loads of talent on their roster. But basically, Bill Zito came in to a cap-strapped team. He brought in some unknown players, some fourth liners from Tampa, some players who never reached their full potential. And last year, they were one of the better teams in the NHL. And really, this year, they have been the best team in the NHL. Obviously, there are a couple teams in that conversation as well. But the fact that Bill Zito has turned this team around so quickly through really not top tier free agent signings, and this past off season, he went out and made some more moves and made the team even better. It's 100% Bill Zito who's receiving plenty of presents to me because he has brought the sunshine back to the Sunrise State.
good pick, Mike. But as we know, not everyone does open up their stocking and get, presents. A lot of people have lumps of coal in there. So I think we'll go backwards this time and we'll start with you, Mike. Who's getting coal in their stocking to start their Christmas day?
I think we know who it is. It's Urban Meyer. What in the world was Urban Meyer doing in Jacksonville? That was just, it was a circus. It really was. And when Jacksonville hired Urban Meyer, I feel like we didn't really know about all these antics that were going to go down because we really didn't hear about it at Florida or at Ohio State. He was really regarded as one of the best college coaches, whenever he was the head of a program. And so I thought he was going to go into Jacksonville and do some good things. I didn't know about great things, but I thought he was going to start to turn around that franchise. He went in, did the exact opposite. Tons of turmoil, just I don't even know what word to use, but just disrespecting his players to a whole new degree and really treating them like they're 15-year-olds. Like it's just, and not only that, not only how he treated his players, but the product he put on the field, putting Trevor Lawrence in terrible positions to succeed, benching his best player, James Robinson, for his OSU favorite, Carlos Hyde. I mean, I could go on and on and on about the list of failures Urban Meyer had in Jacksonville, but is indubitably Urban Meyer.
He kicked Josh Lambo.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just absolutely terrible. And we could throw it back to his stay at that bar in Ohio where he had some intermingling going on. And that's just more stuff stacking on top of each other. It's just terrible. It's Urban Meyer.
Matt, hard to top that there. Who's getting coal?
I think a lot of people could get cold based on a lot of expectations, but I'm going to go with Tommy went with his rival baseball team. I'm going to go with the rival football team with the Chicago Bears. I mean, over there, just overall, the front office and the head coaching staff, Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace, it's just it's a crap show over there. Let's throw back to the draft. They traded up. They traded their first round pick this year, which is going to be a really good pick, to the New York Giants to grab Bustin Fields from Ohio State. Don't know why you're drafting an Ohio State quarterback. Justin looked he looked okay yesterday. He has obviously a lot of potential, but there was some really bad turnovers, running backwards like 25 yards and end up fumbling the ball. Luckily, he got it back, but he did fumble the ball. He's good on his legs, but still, I don't believe in him, and I don't believe that any coaching staff has been well for the Bears. I mean, Matt Nagy deserves to be fired like ASAP, but it is what it is. The Bears are getting cold in my case. Bear down, bear down.
I mean, ESPN shows a close up of Matt Nagy on the sideline, and it looks like he hasn't slept a minute in his entire life.
No, and then Justin Fields is crying in the corner. It's literally, they're going down a hill.
All right. Well, I said we were going in reverse order, so that would bring it to me. And, I'm going to go with two people who have kind of already been mentioned. I'm going to go with rookie quarterbacks, this year in the NFL, excluding Mac Jones. And I guess you could take Trey Lance out of that too, because he hasn't really played. But Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, and Justin Fields have not played up to the potential that they had there in late April. I mean, Trevor Lawrence, 9 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, just over a 50% completion percentage. A lot of that can be said because of Urban Meyer and, lack of talent there on that Jacksonville roster. That could be possible. Zach Wilson, only 6 passing touchdowns. He does have 3 rushing touchdowns, but 11 interceptions. So tough sledding there for Zach. He hasn't looked good. As a Jets fan, I can say he hasn't looked good, missing some wide open throws. Again, Corey Davis, Elijah Moore being out, could definitely play a big factor, over these last several weeks against the Saints and then on Sunday against Miami with him and his receiver chemistry there. Then we mentioned Justin Fields, 7 touchdowns to 10 interceptions. All of them have really turned the ball over just a little bit too much. And, the potential they had there in April, this was going to be one of the best quarterback class of thinking back to potentially 2012 with Andrew Luck, Robert Griffin III, Russell Wilson was there in 2012. So yeah, it's a little worrisome. I think all of them deserve coal in their stocking. Hopefully, their front offices can, get some players around them for next year and we can see true potential out of these players. But for now, they're not living up to their hype.
Tommy, who do you got?
Well,
Getting coal in their stocking.
yeah, we're gonna bring
Yankees?
it back to baseball. No Yankees for this one. We're actually gonna go with Cody Bellinger. Feel bad for the guy. He's been, he's trying out there, but he's really struggled. I mean, this year he had a negative 1.5 WAR, hit 165, only 52 hits and 10 home runs. And you think about where he was just 2 years ago, winning the MVP, hitting 305, 47 homers, 115 RBIs. It's really hard to believe how much he's fallen off. And he was almost non-tendered, didn't get a contract, but he will be back with the Dodgers. But yeah, Cole and his stocking for this year, unfortunately. I'm sure he's working to get back to what he was, but really falling off.
I mean, throwback 2 years ago, he was traded, right? And of our fantasy baseball draft, he was traded like the second pick
Oh, I think he
between
was.
Tommy and Connor. I mean, he was a high guy in the draft.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
no.
mean,
A lot of great big picks here. A lot of players got some presence. Obviously, we couldn't touch on every single person who's had success this year. We also couldn't touch on every single person who hasn't had success this year. So if you think of anyone who deserves a present or coal in their stocking, definitely drop that down in the comments. We've opened up our stockings. Now we got to look under the tree and see who had the best present under their tree this year. We're talking about best acquisition, best trade, best free agency when we get back. Welcome back to Go Chat. And as you just saw, we opened up our stockings. And now we have to look under the tree and see which sports team, which sports player has been the best present for their team so far, throughout this year. We're talking, were they drafted? Were they traded for? Were they acquired via free agency? Who has been the best player for their team and who's opening up these presents and saying, thank God we got him. Mike, I'm throwing it to you first. Who's been the best player acquired for this year?
Connor, I think you're gonna love this, but you kind of called it before during the NFL draft, calling this player the best defensive player in the draft. And he's turned out to be the absolute best player in the draft. It's got to be Micah Parsons. Dallas opened up a gift, and it's been everything they've expected 10 times over, tenfold. Micah Parsons, he's really, one of the top 3-4 candidates for defensive player of the year, not only defensive rookie. That's already in the bag right now. Defensive player of the year. The last person who was a rookie and to win defensive player of the year was Lawrence Taylor back in the 1980s. And Micah Parsons is playing out of this world. 12 sacks, nearly 80 tackles, nearly 30 QB hits. He's playing everywhere on the field. When the Cowboys have needed him to step up and play edge with the countless injuries they've had at that position, Micah Parsons has stepped up and done that. He's learned to play off-ball linebacker. He's even playing a bit of coverage. We saw last week against the Giants. He played corner and was able to read a pick play against Kenny Golladay and, stop a touchdown. I mean, Micah Parsons has been all over this field, and he's already one of the best defensive players in the league, and he's a huge reason why this Cowboys defense has turned around and become one of the best in the league. Micah Parsons is a massive present.
Let me hear it, Mike. Say it, please.
Say what? Did you expect Micah Parsons to come into the league and have 12 sacks in 14 games?
Yes.
No, you didn't. No one did.
He was the best defensive prospect. Come on, Christmas gift for me. Tell me that I told you so.
No, you were correct that Micah Parsons was the best defensive player in the draft.
Say I told you so. Say Connor told me so.
No, you're supposed to say I told you so.
Matt, who is the best player acquired this year?
Connor, I'll give you that gift. You told us so. You told Mike so. I will give you that gift for Christmas. My present here is Sean McVay opened up a great present over the offseason, and that is Matthew Stafford. I mean, he's had some rough games. He's had some pick sixes, but he really elevated the Rams offense this year. No disrespect to Jared Goff. I think he's a good quarterback. I don't think he's the best. Obviously, he's in Detroit. Shout out Detroit. They won this week. But Matthew Stafford just elevates it, and we see it with wide receivers like Cooper Kupp. Robert Woods, before he got hurt, still had a good year. Even Odell Beckham and Van Jefferson so far. But let's go to the stats. Matt Stafford right now is 5th. He still has a game tonight. Everyone else played other than the Washington football team, Eagles, Seahawks, Rams. So he has a game tonight, but he's still 5th in yards. And he has 3,898 yards, 33 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, and a passer rating of 108.4, which is actually very good. He's only behind Aaron Rodgers, who's obviously just Aaron Rodgers, always has a good passer rating. He's only behind Aaron Rodgers with starting quarterback. So I'm going to have to give this to Matthew Stafford. I'm excited to see where this Rams can take, hopefully maybe elevate them to the Super Bowl if it's not Green Bay.
Tommy, I'm throwing it to you. I'm expecting some more baseball here. You got the Yankees Santa hat. We went baseball from Massachusetts. We had baseball in our stocking. I'm expecting it here. Who's the best player acquired for this year?
Of course, we got to go with baseball, Connor. I'm going to go with Jorge Soler of the Atlanta Braves. And, obviously there's people that are bigger names that you could mention for being acquired, but the impact that he had on that team, I mean, we've talked about on this show how much the Braves were struggling, and then Ronald Acuna gets hurt, and that opens the door for, some big bats to be acquired, and he was right in the heart of it. And he ended up being the World Series MVP for them. So got to go with Jorge Soler. I mean, he was just dominant through his time there in Atlanta, played 55 games with them, hit 14 homers, and really played well down the stretch, and obviously was great in the postseason. So, Jorge Soler for this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna swing it back to the gridiron. Mike went with the best defensive prospect in the NFL draft. I'm going to go to someone who I think could have the best offensive career in the NFL from this past drafts. And he wasn't even taken in the first round. He was a second-round selection by the Kansas City Chiefs, and that's Creed Humphrey. I mean, he has been so unbelievably good for this team. We think back to the Super Bowl in February. Patrick Mahomes was running for his life just to try to find time to throw that ball, and Creed Humphrey steps in, and he has played such a good role in the middle of that offensive line. He's played 979 offensive stats. That's third in the NFL. Only has 5 penalties on him this year. That's tied for 8th. And he's only allowed 1 sack through 14 games. He has been so good at that center position. He's really stepped in and made that line. They went out and they got Joe Thuney in free agency, and they've really just made that line so much better. Who else did they get? They got Orlando Brown Jr. From the Ravens. They've just made that line so good after what happened there in that Super Bowl. Creed Humphrey stepped in, and he's been so good right away. A lot of great names in this NFL draft. Jalen Waddles played great. Jamar Chase, Mac Jones obviously has stepped in and played really well for New England right from the start. But when I look at offensive names that come out of this draft, and I think at the person who's having the best impact right now, I think it has to be Creed Humphrey there in Kansas City.
He's my offensive rookie of the year.
I think he can get it.
It started out Jamar Chase, but Jamar Chase has kind of had a tough couple weeks lately, especially this week. Mac Jones is playing pretty good. He's just a really effective thrower, but I think Creed Humphrey deserves that offensive rookie of the year. Nobody else really stands out like Justin Herbert or Justin Jefferson last year, to be honest.
He's just stepped in and played so unbelievably well. And, it's a position that people don't talk about. Offensive line, they don't get love. He's the most voted for center for Pro Bowl voting in the NFL this year. And he's a rookie. He's going to be someone who is a perennial, Pro Bowler. He's going to win rings. Kansas City's going to get back to the Super Bowl, and they're going to win with Patrick Mahomes under center. He's going to have an incredible resume. And, I can talk about it right now. He's only rookie year. Injuries bar a lot of stuff in the NFL. But he could be someone who down the line we are going to be undoubtedly seeing put on a gold jacket there in Ohio.
Yeah, 100%, Connor. He's been absolutely awesome, and there's no reason why he wouldn't be able to continue this play over his career. And really, he's the front runner for offensive rookie of the year right now. Maybe if Jamar Chase, not necessarily continued his tear, but at least played to some sort of more efficient level, he'd obviously be the number one guy there. But Creed Humphrey has been absolutely awesome. And one player I just want to throw out there, we really haven't touched on the NBA too much today, but I got to say DeMar DeRozan has been a humongous present for the Chicago Bulls. The Chicago Bulls are one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference, in large part due to DeMar DeRozan and what he's done for that team, averaging 27, 28 points a game, coming in, alleviating some of that stress and pressure off of Vucevic and Levine. He's been absolutely awesome for the Bulls, and he's been a huge reason why they have been the kind of team that they have been this year. The Lakers made a huge mistake by not trading for him.
Even Lonzo Ball has been really
he's been awesome too. I was thinking about giving some presence in the Chicago Bulls GM's stocking. Mark Eversley, I think his name is. He really has put a great team together, and but DeMar DeRozan has been a huge present for the Chicago Bulls as well.
Well, this is going to wrap up our festive segments of this episode. We still have wrap it up. You guys got it. Put a little bow on it. We do still have GOAT picks and go to the week ahead. So stick with us here. We'll be right back with GOAT Chat.
Welcome back to GOAT Chat. We are back with the GOAT picks. It's not Christmas edition. We have another GOAT picks on Friday. We have 3 left. And if you look at the leaderboard, I am up by how much? What did I tell you guys? I got one 4-0.
You're up by 3 on Tommy.
I'm up 3
by
Tommy.
5 on Mike, and
like 13.
I've been eliminated from contention. We don't have to say how far back I am. I'm not making it.
All right, we got 4 great games. We have 12 games left, so take it as you want, Connor. I'm sorry. We'll start with these 4 games. We have college basketball on Wednesday. The Arizona Wildcats are going to Tennessee to play the Volunteers, number 6 Arizona, number 19 Tennessee. I'm rolling with Tennessee here. Tennessee's the better coach. They did lose a heartbreaker to Texas Tech. Consider this as you want as maybe an upset, but I think Tennessee and Rick Barnes are just going to win. Tommy's.
I got Arizona. I don't know much about this team, but they're 6th in the country, right? So we're going to go 6 over the 19, and let's go Wildcats.
Okay. You know what, Tommy? The ESPN matchup predictor is heavily favoring Tennessee right now. I'm not sure why. It's about 70% chance
Oh,
Tennessee is going to win.
seriously?
But I know it's very weird. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. And I
That's
was
how
kind
I do most of my picks, but I didn't have time today. So we're still gonna roll there.
I don't think either team's resumes are great, but I gotta make up some games, and picking the team that's ranked 13 higher is not a bad way to do it. So I'm going with Arizona.
Connor.
I'm gonna go Tennessee. At this point, I think I'm just gonna try to play for third.
Could
Okay.
do that.
You could,
But
yeah.
that might even be a reach if we're being honest.
It's
I don't
only
know, Mike.
it's only 8 games.
I could do it.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, next game we got Celtics versus Cavaliers. This game's in TD Garden on Wednesday. I'm going with Boston Celtics. They looked good. They lost to Joel Embiid pretty much. But I'm expecting a win here from Boston. Tommy.
Let's go Cavs.
Oh man, Tommy, you're trying to make them ground today. Mike.
Well, no, I went to the matchup predictor from ESPN and they got a 50.4% chance going towards Cleveland. So
Mike.
The Celtics have been playing better after getting off to a slow start. Jason Tatum is starting to pick it up. Jaylen Brown has been awesome as well, but the Cavs have been absolutely great this year. So I'm gonna roll with them.
All right, Connor.
Taking the Celtics.
Wow, this is gonna be a great final GOAT picks coming up. We got college football. We're in bowl season. We got the UCF Golden Knights going up against the Florida Gators in the Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl. That's a long name. Not going to fit the graphic. I'm going to go with Florida here. I trust the SEC teams over this, whatever UCF's division is, American or whatever. And yeah, it should be an okay game. It's kind of tough with COVID that we have not a lot of games to pick, but I'm going with Florida here. Tommy, the floor is yours.
I am also going to go with Florida in this one. My friends at ESPN told me to do so.
All right, Mike.
I'm going with Florida. I'm not going to put too much analysis into this.
All right, Connor.
I'm gonna go UCF. Florida's defense has been terrible all year. They've had a lot of really bad coaching throughout. And I just think that UCF, they're still a good team. So I'm gonna go UCF over Florida.
Final game, we got Thursday Night Football between Tennessee Titans, just lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're going up against the San Francisco 49ers, who have just been absolutely looking hot. That's why I'm going to roll with the San Francisco 49ers in this game easily. Tommy.
Yeah, I agree with you. I did watch some of that Steelers game and they struggled. And, they put together a pretty good year overall. But yeah, I got to go with the 49ers in this one.
Mike.
Yeah, that's very disappointing, Matt. I'm going to go with the 49ers as well. I think they're going to win this game.
Connor.
Go Tennessee.
Oh, man.
All right. You know Derrick Henry's not playing, right?
Oh, he's not?
No.
Oh, no.
All right. We'll have to see how this plays out because we got 2 more after this to finish the season up. Like I said, we're going to have Christmas picks out on literally Christmas on Saturday. So look out for those. But other than that, we got to go to the weekend. We had Tommy win this week. It's getting exciting. We'll be back.
Who did I pay?
We'll get into that, Tommy. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to Go Chat. We are back with the Go of the Week. Throw back to last week, or a little week and a half ago, since we didn't have an episode this weekend. But Tommy, you hit double digits, buddy. That's his 10th win.
How about that? That's exciting. It's been a long climb up to double digits, but we're finally there.
Tommy, do you remember who you picked?
Undeserved.
I do, because you just told me during the break. Gardner Minshew. I mean, if we're being honest,
Who helped you?
didn't
Who
know
helped
what
you
to
with
do
that?
that week. Yeah, Matt helped me with that pick. So thank you to Matt Kane. But hey, it doesn't matter. We got to double digits. So
We
I
gotta
was
get
the
you in the
last
winner.
one, right?
What?
I was the last one, right, to double digit.
Oh, yeah, by a lot.
Tommy,
I thought
Mike's got 14, I'm pretty sure. And he's
Oh, okay.
third. I got
Hey.
29. I'm almost at 30. We'll see if I can make the hump. But
Yeah.
Tommy, rumor has it from Jeff Passan.
No way.
You have a great pick this week.
I think I do. I mean, I'm certainly hoping I do. Am I going first?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
share it.
Oh
4
my
years.
God. So I'm gonna go with Travis Kelsey. Actually watched this game, believe it or not. I was actually actually tuned in. And he had a couple of touchdowns, 191 yards he ran for it, or maybe not ran for it, whatever. Um but
Receive.
yeah, he had a great game. I know he had a ton of fantasy points. Didn't he get like 41 fantasy points or something? So yeah, great week for Travis Kelsey. And the Kansas City Chiefs won that game 34-28. Big reason why was Travis Kelsey, so got to go with him for go of the week.
Yeah, I mean, just to add on to that, Kansas City's in the number 1 slot right now, too.
I know they started 3-4 and now they're 10-4.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Connor, you're up next since Mike's struggling.
I got one. I got one. Don't worry about me.
All right, Connor.
I'm going to go with a player who actually didn't even win their game this week. They still lost. And it's Tyler Huntley, quarterback of the Baltimore Ravens. He stepped in, twice in 2 different performances when Lamar had to go down, and he's played really well. And, he actually had a feat on Sunday against the Packers that not even Lamar has done. He threw for 2 touchdowns and ran for 2 touchdowns. Lamar Jackson has yet to do that. Huntley with 215 yards and 2 touchdowns, 28 of 40, 70% completion percentage, and 13 carries for 73 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground, including a carry with like 13 seconds left. And obviously, they didn't get the 2-point conversion to Mark Andrews there to do it. I agree with the call by John Harbaugh. I don't think you go into overtime with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers wins that probably like 99% of the time. So I agree with the call there. But Tyler Huntley has definitely showed off. He was undrafted, just a few years ago, been cut by the Ravens 5 different times. Steps up and has really put the league on notice, I would say. He's able to run that offense pretty well. So it'll be interesting to see, where he goes from there. Tyler Huntley, go to the week.
Listen, I praise Aaron Rodgers so much. Obviously, we just can turn around and notice that. But if you get that coin toss and you get that receive, the Ravens would have won that game because the Packers defense was just awful. I don't agree with the call. John Harbaugh's lost 2 games because of that now. Same thing with the Steelers. And I understand that there's like 12 seconds on the board and, it's Aaron Rodgers. You could easily throw a long ball. But still, you just got to tie the game. I don't agree with the call out.
We don't have to get into this too much, but I think there was like 43 seconds left.
There was like 30.
Yeah, I think there was enough time for Aaron Rodgers to get into field goal range right there. I think regardless, and
no timeouts. It was Mike. It was highly improbable. I mean, Aaron Rodgers does a lot of things, but it would have been highly improbable.
I think if you don't go for 2 there, I think you lose that game anyways. But that's a different conversation for a different day, because Tyler Huntley is not the true GOAT of the week. Okay, the true GOAT of the week has to be Dennis Allen, the defensive coordinator for the New Orleans Saints. Not only did he step up when Sean Payton contracted COVID and became that head coach for the Saints, but he led a dominant defensive performance against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, putting together another fantastic game plan against Tom Brady, shutting them out. And not only that, he had to step up into the head coaching role and really spearhead that team as a whole. With all that going on, stopping one of the most explosive offenses in the league and still leading the team to an improbable win in Tampa Bay, it's got to be Dennis Allen.
It's got to be. You just got up with him like 30 seconds ago. It's got to be him.
It's a requirement. It's obligatory.
Nothing against that Saints defense or, Dennis Allen. It was a great game plan. You want to know what stopped that Tampa Bay Bucks? It wasn't necessarily that New Orleans.
The lack of weapons.
Oh, come on.
It was injuries. It was
0 points. 0 points.
Leonard Fournette goes down. Chris Godwin's now out for the year. Mike Evans has to leave the game. Who are his receivers out there? His number 1 receiver out there was Scotty Miller.
Scotty Miller is a decent player. Tyler Johnson is a good player. He's still a Gronk. I mean, come on. It's not like Tom Brady had no one on the field. And the fact that he still shut out the best player of all time in Tom Brady, that is an accomplishment within itself.
I didn't know Tom Brady played all 11 positions on the offense.
Yeah, no.
Matt,
I don't think I still
Come
don't think
on,
Blake
come
understands
on.
that.
Don't give me that garbage. That's nonsense.
Listen, I think a lot of factors factored into that game, and I just think Tom Brady struggled with the lack of weapons that he had. He didn't throw any good balls. There's a couple drops. Even with Gronk was dropping a couple balls too. But we can't sit here and just talk about that game because we got to go to the weekend. We got another great pick coming up. Do I want to go for the win here, or do I want to go for? I'm gonna go with I'll just stick with this. I'm gonna go with Aaron Rodgers. I wanted to go really bad with Aaron Rodgers last week, but we didn't have an episode. But still, I mean, even the game that he played against Baltimore, 75% completion percentage, 268 yards, 3 touchdowns, 132 passer rating, and he even tied Brett Favre with the Packers all-time touchdown leader. He's been playing absolutely incredible, and shout out to Tom Brady because he really just helped Aaron Rodgers MVP candidacy. 2 in a row, baby. That'll be 4 MVPs in his whole career. I'm gonna go with Aaron Rodgers here. Shout out Jonathan Taylor. I thought about going with him.
Jonathan Taylor was definitely a thought in my head. This has been a great episode, guys. I don't think I've gotten on and had as much fun doing an episode as I have, here today. It's always good, getting along with you guys, especially when I have an episode last week. I'm glad we all traveled home safe from Ithaca. Our semester finished up. Yeah.
There we go. I think that's going to wrap up our Christmas special in 2021. Connor's having a little trouble there wrapping up the episode, so I'm going to do it.
You made a face at me. I'm having trouble because you made a face at me.
We aren't going to get into that right now, but thank you guys for watching the whole episode. If you stayed the whole way, make sure you like, subscribe, follow our socials, all that stuff, and we will see you next time.